Throbbing Gristle. Throbbing Gristle, 20 jazz funk greats. This is an original UK pressing I bought at Rough Trade Records in San Francisco when it came out. Saw them actually in San Francisco. I think it was their last series of shows before their first breakup. You know, San Francisco has broken up so many groups, or at least ended their touring career. The Beatles, 1966. The Band, 1976. Throbbing Gristle, the Sex Pistols, 1978. And I saw all but the Beatles. So there you go. My history is good in terms of breaking up bands in San Francisco, but the one band that I really cared the most to see, I didn't see. But I'm here to talk about initial impressions after 24 hours. Now, I have a pair here of Spendor A7 speakers. Those of you who've been watching my channel a long time know I have these Bauer & Wilkins 702 S3 speakers that I've had about 6-7 years now. I'm not a gearhead. I'm not one that always feels the need to change out and swap out and upgrade gear. And I have friends who are into that, and I am, all the power to them. I usually like to sit with something. I had a Rotel amp for 22 years, literally. And when I got the Hagel H390 about 3 years ago, literally, it changed the tone, the mid-range, the bottom of those Bauer & Wilkins speakers. You know, they tend to be a little bright on the high end with the tweeter on top there. And I love those speakers. And it was a world of difference with that Hagel amp. More power. Those speakers are power hungry. So the more you kind of give it, the nicer they'll treat you in terms of sound and the bass and just the dynamics on it. Now, those of you who know me know I do have a TV in between my speakers. I have a very loud, bright room. This is the place I enjoy listening to music most of the time. I do have a quieter, darker, tighter room, I guess, dampened room downstairs, but this is where I listen to music most when I have friends over and I enjoy it. And so it is a compromise, but I'm fine with that compromise. Now, I'm not looking to buy new gear. And this came about because of a conversation I had with some people, including Matt from Hawthorne Stereo. Now, this isn't an ad for Hawthorne Stereo, but they are a stereo shop in Seattle that I really like because they're just a 2-channel store. They have new and used gear, and I've known them since pretty much just a year or two after I moved here when I bought my first Riga turntable from them. And they have great used stuff and stereo stuff, and they're not the hard selling salesman type of the slick, like used car salesman. I don't think, not very often. And they have good stuff. But anyway, we were talking about my room. I got the chance to test out these speakers. Now, I'm not looking to buy new speakers. I don't know if I'm gonna change my B&Ws and go to Spendors or anything else. But these are a speaker that they carry. Spendors are British made, all in-house in Britain still. The Bowers & Wilkins are a British company. Only their high-end speakers are still made in the UK. The rest are made in China, including the pair I have there. Those are a larger speaker. You can look in the specs online for the Bowers & Wilkins, but here you have a 2-way speaker. And it's beautiful. This happens to be a walnut finish. If I was to buy these speakers, I would definitely go with this walnut, just as a change of pace. They do have a black, a lighter wood, maybe like a maple, I think it is, or a birch or something, and they have a white one too. And the white works good in my in the aesthetic in my house, but also walnut would be nice here too, because my floors are dark and rich. I was just playing Throbbing Gristle there, as you saw, and I'm trying to get a lot of bass and trying to kind of like loosen these speakers up. It's been 24 hours now. I've probably played them about 7 hours so far in the 24-hour period. And initially I felt the speakers didn't fill the room as nice as I'd used to. Now, we all get used to a speaker after, years of listening. We get attached to a sound, our ears, I think, adapt. Now, I am not a gear guy. This is not a gear channel. I am not an audio reviewer, but I just want to give you my take, because some people were surprised when they saw the post on Instagram where I showed these Spendors next to my Bowers & Wilkins 702 S2s. It really makes a difference if you have a chance to audition gear at home. I know some dealers allow it, some don't. Obviously, if you're a good customer, you get a better chance of dealing with it and testing things out than other people probably just off the street. These are a pair literally out of the box. Matt came over. Matt has been my turntable guru for a while. Whenever I have an issue or need an upgrade or a card change, he actually lives pretty close to me, and he's helped me out. So I really appreciate his talent on that. And he suggested I listen to these, and it wasn't like a specific hard sell, because we know each other socially as well. So it was just a fun chance to listen to something a little different. Initially in these 24 hours though, I didn't feel these Spendor A7s filled my room enough. Now, we'll see if they loosen up. And of course, my ears are used to those Bowers & Wilkins. Very, very different speaker design than the Spendors. But the Spendors I found are very clean, very dynamic, and so far, I really enjoy how they sound with acoustic instruments and jazz at mid volumes. I found when I cranked it, I was wanting more. Now that could be because of they're not broken in yet, and we'll see how that goes. But I just felt they needed like a subwoofer. And I've had people say, maybe you should get a subwoofer with my B&Ws. I'm really trying not to do subs in this room, in this house. And I just want a good stereo speaker. And, obviously with all these kind of speakers and gears and amplifiers, you really hear the difference as you change. So I'm going to sit with these for a couple of weeks and listen to them and see how they open up. Probably in a couple of days, I'll rehook up the B&Ws and just go back to see if there's a difference of how I feel about them after listening to these for several days, and see if I feel a different a sound, a fullness. Because my recollection is the Bowers & Wilkins are fuller in this room and more dynamic. Now, again, I play a lot of music. I usually play, 6 to 8 hours a day in many cases. So I put in a lot of time on my gear. And this is still initial stages of that. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out. So far in 24 hours, and it's not really a good impression, but I'll probably make more of these videos, maybe weekly for a while as I progress with this. I don't feel the Spendors fill my room as much as I'm used to. I like to crank music, especially certain jazz and rock and roll. I really pump it up. And of course, the B&Ws being open and being broken in, I don't think it's because of the design of the speaker or anything specific about the speaker. I really just think it's because they haven't loosened up, and the drivers aren't loosened, hasn't broken in yet, but we'll see. Any suggestions? They're a beautiful speaker. I know 2 people that have this speaker and adore this speaker. So when you pick a speaker, one or the other, or you narrow it down to 6 speakers, it doesn't mean those other speakers are bad. My history has been, it's a gut feeling. It's a little bit of, obviously sound is paramount, but you don't always get to audition a speaker, and there's a little bit of a leap of faith when you take a speaker home and hook it up to your system. And I've found over the years with any gear, sometimes there's initial disappointment, like, wait a second, I expected a bigger upgrade than I got, a bigger aural upgrade than I got. And sometimes it takes a while for you to tune into your new gear. I think the biggest improvement I've had in the last decade is the Hagel H390 amp. The extra power, as I said, really made my B&Ws blossom and made them deeper and richer. And it was like buying a pair of new speakers. When I first played these, when I initially put them. I felt a brittleness. Now, it could have been something with my card. I want to see. I have a Hana Umami Blue, which tends to be a very bright card, I think. And even playing that for the last almost a year now, I'm not sure it's a card that I am in love with. And that's another issue for another day. But that's it for now. It's Mazzy. Thanks for watching. Mazzy loves you.